Hi everyone! Yet another video in a series about my saga of having a broken wrist. This time I'm going to talk about dealing with depression and anxiety after having an accident, maybe a disability. If you've ever had that or are going through it now or know somebody who has, maybe this video will help you. I'm going to give you my tips on what I did and what helped me to overcome those feelings that come about when you just don't, when you're down and you feel like you can't do anything and you're worthless. And anyway, stay tuned. For those who haven't seen my first two videos, I'll just give a short rundown of what happened to me. It was about 6-7 weeks ago, I guess, when I broke my wrist. I found some ice. And I'm single and living alone, and it was really hard, all of a sudden, only having use of one hand. I was so used to my independence, and I was like, it was really hard all of a sudden having to rely on people. I mean, I'm lucky to have a sister or neighbors that help me out here and there. But there was a lot of things I still couldn't do. I mean, most of the day in the beginning, I was just sitting on the couch, like watching TV and reading, and it got boring and I was constantly tired, and that just made me really depressed. I was anxious. I don't know why. I was reliving the accident over and over again, and it was causing anxiety as well as the depression. It was not a good feeling. I felt anxious and depressed throughout my life, here and there, and I've dealt with it. I've gotten help with it even when I needed it. But this time it got really bad, and it was, thankfully it didn't last too long because I started thinking about things I learned in the past to help me in this journey. Self-care would be my number one tip for how to deal with depression and anxiety. By self-care, I mean taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, eating nutritious meals, ones that will help you in your healing process, and also getting some exercise if it's at all possible. Sleep is number one for me. When I don't get enough sleep, I can be miserable. It can cause me anxiety just fighting the feelings of tiredness. Your mind is so tired, you just can't fight off the feelings of depression. It just brings on the depression, and like you can't do anything, you're worthless. What's the point? So sleep would probably be number one in the self-care for me. Getting enough sleep, but I know sometimes that's hard, especially if you're in pain or you're uncomfortable at night. And after an accident, a lot of times that happens. I know it happened with me. But I was taking magnesium at night. I was taking like 240 milligrams. I was taking some melatonin, and I was just trying to go to bed at the same time every night, and relaxing at night to get that good night's sleep. And it didn't happen all at once, but it started happening. I'm one of these people that even if I was tired during the day, I didn't sleep right at night, I don't mind taking a nap. Naps are good too. If you haven't slept as much as you should at night, do take that nap. It might help you feel a whole lot better afterwards. You might have a better outlook. That's number one for me. I value my sleep. I really do. And number two is nutritious meals. That may be hard too because my nutrition is kind of going down the tube since before this I was like on this, not eating any processed foods and no gluten, stuff like that, eating nothing but healthy whole foods and stuff like that. And it was really hard with only one hand. I couldn't do all the prepping and cooking and like I used to. So I tried to keep as much as I could of the nutritious stuff, but I know I'm getting worse stuff too. I'm getting like processed foods, some stuff that is that I can easily put in the microwave and cook up, and packaged foods, and I know they're not good for me. But I do take supplements too. And supplements are good. If you have a broken bone like me, they're going to tell you protein, number one. It's good for bones. And most of your, calcium, K2, D, that's all good for healing. Your body needs to heal, and it's not going to heal if you're not getting your nutrition. So if you don't feel like you can get it in food, try to eat as healthy as you can, and then just take supplements to supplement whatever you feel you may be lacking. But you definitely do need to keep your nutrition up, because food is medicine, as they say, as some doctors say anyway. And it is. I found it really helps me. I mean, that's another reason I went into depression, because I felt like I couldn't eat what I wanted to eat and knew what was good for me. But I just did what I could and ate what I could and just tried to make it as healthy as possible. Number 3 in the self-care mode is exercise. I know you can't, depending upon what happened to you, you might not be able to exercise the way you could. I know I couldn't. One good thing, though, I was able to walk. And every day I've been trying to get my steps in. In the beginning, it was hard. I was only getting maybe 7,000 steps a day, because I was just wearing myself out constantly, easily. But now, like a month and a half later, I'm back up to doing like 10,000 steps a day. And I know that's good for my spirit. I know walking is especially good for like anxiety, because whenever I used to have really bad anxiety, I'd get up and walk. That would happen to me at work quite a bit. And I just get up and walk and think and just kind of meditate, try to get away from whatever was causing me anxiety. Half the time I had no idea what it was. But walking is good. It relaxes you. It just can calm your spirit. If you can walk outside, that's even better, because of fresh air and nature and birds chirping and whatever. I couldn't do that because, unfortunately, mine happened right in the middle of the winter and can't go out and walk then. And we had a really bad winter. It was really cold. I'm up in north central Pennsylvania, and we had a really cold and lots of freezing rain, snow. It was horrible. But anyway, try to do what exercise you can. Even a little bit will help to keep your spirits up and maybe get you away from feeling so depressed and anxious. Positivity is probably my next tip. You have to stay positive. You can't dwell on what you can't do. It's there. You can't do it. For me, there was quite a bit I couldn't do. But I just learned to concentrate on what I could do. And I had to keep telling myself, this is only temporary. This is only temporary. I'm going to get better. And I won't have to rely on people to do this and that. And it is getting better, a month and a half. My wrist is getting better. There's still a lot I can't do. But I've learned to accept what I can and can't do, and maybe work around the things I can't do just to try to make it better. I mean, one of the other things you should do is keep yourself feeling productive in some way, shape, or form. Like me, I always like to write. I like to write articles. I also like to do my YouTube videos. And I didn't do my YouTube videos for like a month, I think, after the accident, because I couldn't get my phone on the tripod, because my tripod just was too hard to try to get it on there with one hand. I couldn't do it. But I worked around that. I now, instead of putting it where it was, I now have like a pillow and like something that just holds it up. And anyway, it works now. I mean, it's not as good as it used to. And yeah, everything's much bigger chore than it was when I had two hands. Same with the writing. At first I did away with it, and now I'm back to it. I realized, why do I have to keyboard? Why do I have to type on the keyboard? Why can't there's such a thing as dictation using a mic. So I started doing that. And I actually like it. I might continue doing that even after I get two hands back. It's a whole lot easier in some ways. I mean, I can just talk the way I am now, and it types out what I want. It's pretty easy once you get used to it. So that makes me feel a whole lot more productive, like I'm doing something, and it's making my days go a lot better too. I'm not getting quite as bored. I got things to think about and do. And, as time goes on, I'm doing a little bit more and more. I don't need as much help. That's great. The worst thing for me is driving. I can't drive. I live semi-rural, and there isn't much in the way of public transportation, so I'm still having to rely on other people to drive me places, and that's the worst thing for me. Because I do have hand therapy once a week, and I have to go see the doctor maybe once a month. I don't know, not that often. The hand therapy is the most, but thankfully it's only right down the road, so it's a short drive. I still hate having to rely on other people to get me there. But anyway, that's what's been happening with me and how I've managed to stay positive and trying to keep the depression at bay as well as anxiety. I still have thoughts about the accident that make me anxious, especially at night. I'm lying in bed and I can't sleep at some point. It freaks me out. Depression is one of those things, if you let it get to you, it can really bring you down and it'll be hard to get out of it. It's best to try to nip it in the bud. As soon as you start feeling those feelings of depression, you start feeling down, start thinking how you can get rid of it, how you can bring yourself up. Watch a happy movie, funny videos on YouTube, whatever, just something to make you laugh or bring you up. And things always get better. You just have to remember that and be thankful for what you have instead of what you don't have. Anyway, I hope this video helps you and I hope you're feeling better and I can really empathize with what you're going through. I've been there and I still go through there at times. Thanks for listening.